I don't know how much I'm going to be able to talk about this topic, but I want to bring it up anyway, because it's something my Nana said to me maybe about a month ago, and it really just had me thinking. Why would you want fake feelings? And this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the alcohol. I'm talking about the smoke. I'm talking about the vapes. I'm talking about the cigarettes. I'm talking about the everything, okay? Why would you want fake feelings, period? And that really had me thinking. Because when I smoke the grass or the medical marijuana, I don't even know. I'm just going to probably come out and say it. All substance, okay? We're talking about substance, okay? We're talking about things that make you feel good, okay? Cheat codes in life. Because once you smoke for the first time, or once you do so, also, it's probably warn you, I'm going to be talking about bad stuff. Okay, that's just a warning. I'm talking about bad stuff. Okay, I'm talking about bad stuff. What I really mean is after you smoke for the first time, you get that feeling. And then in the back of your mind that feeling exists. I'm not going to say names or anything, but I have talked to someone who was a hardcore user of a drug. I'm not going to even say what or who, but they said that they will probably never be able to get that feeling again. And they actually stress that you should not do it because of the fact that it feels so good, because you will never be able to get that feeling back. You'll go against your kids. You will go against your family. You will go against everything just to get that high or to feel good, okay? But this is what you need to realize. The only way to feel good in this life is to do things that make you feel good. Okay, if you're sitting down in your bed and you have 5 problems in your head right now. You have 5 problems. You're thinking about, my girlfriend's about to leave me. My job, I'm not doing good at my job. I'm staying up all night. I'm not eating good. Let me just smoke. Or let me just do my thing. Let me just drink. Let me tell you this. Okay, alcohol is not your problem. Alcohol is your solution. Za is my solution. I smoke, whatever. I smoke to cope with my problems. Okay? But in all of reality, instead of smoking on my problems, why not actually go and fix my problems? Because in all of reality, I'm not doing good at my job. You could fix that. Reevaluate. You're staying up until 4 or 5 a.m. You could fix that. It doesn't need to be that way forever. It doesn't. It takes a person a very, very, very long time inside of this life to realize how miserable, how sad and depressed they really are. But it will take that person even longer to realize that it never had to be that way. Think about the person you would be if you actually went out there and did all the things you said you were going to do. If you were a man of your word, a woman of your word. Not just saying it, because saying you're going to do the thing, talking to people about how you're going to do the thing, talking about doing the thing, telling yourself that you're going to do the thing. The only thing that is doing the thing is doing the thing. All right? Not talking about it, not telling your mom or your dad. If you want something done, everybody, you need to look at yourself inside of the mirror. And you need to reevaluate with yourself. Okay? Because I don't know what your full name is, but I would say it if I knew it, have put yourself in this scenario. Okay? Every single choice in your life that you have made up to this point has brought you here. Okay? And I don't want you to sit there and think that change is impossible. That you can never change. That you're always going to need to smoke or drink to be able to live. It's funny. The things that slowly kill me is what is keeping me alive. The things that slowly kill me is what is keeping me alive. I don't know why I can't say that. The things that are slowly killing you in this life dude, what is going on? Why am I saying dude, that's not good. We're just gonna keep it in. All I'm trying to say is that feeling, that bad stuff, I'm just trying to say it. The bad stuff, all those bad things, that's what's keeping you going. Waking up in the morning, that rip or that bottle, that's what keeps you going. That's what keeps you getting out of bed. So take yourself out of yourself. And I want you to realize something. That you are stronger. That you are more powerful. That you could actually train your brain differently. Your routine, the way of your life right now. You've gotten yourself into a routine that you've never questioned. You know, living out of habits, living by routine is not actually living at all. Let's take it to the next clip. I don't think I explained what I was trying to say well enough. So let me actually take you into my own story, you know, of how I even started doing anything in the first place. Okay, let me take you back to middle school. Okay, I had a friend group that was, I mean, I'm not going to say that they were the best friend. I mean, they were good friends, of course, but they did bad stuff, you know, and I was one of those kids that didn't want to do bad stuff. You know, I just wanted to stay home and play video games all day, and that's exactly what I did. You know, I barely went out. You know, my family made me afraid of that kind of stuff. You know, that's probably exactly what I'm going to do to my kid as well, you know, make them afraid of all the bad stuff. Because in reality, you really don't need it. You know, you really don't. You know, you kind of just have to, like, throw it out of your brain. But that's not the point of the video. The point is, you're hooked. I mean, we're in. I mean, you know, obviously we can't go back and never do it, because we did. But here's the thing. Okay, when I met my ex-girlfriend, okay, of course, yes, I'm bringing her up again, because she's the whole, I mean, stop. I am the one that made the choices. Okay, don't blame other people for your problems. Okay, never. Like, I was just about to blame someone for my problem. No, I am responsible. I make that choice every day. I am 100% in control. I'm 100% responsible for my actions. You need to realize that you are 100% responsible for your actions. It may not be your fault, but it is definitely your responsibility to take care of yourself. Now, this is really what I mean. Why is it so hard for me to stop doing the fake feelings or whatever? That's what I'll refer to it as, because that is exactly what it is. You know, you're feeling something that you don't really feel, unfortunately. You know, it doesn't matter what you know. What you feel just takes over, and then you go back to your hole. My ex-girlfriend introduced me. I mean, I started smoking with her for the first time, okay? And then obviously, because I liked her a lot, I loved her actually more than I loved myself, I got hooked, okay? And I guess the only way, stop looking backwards, because you're just not going that way, okay? You just need to continue to move forward. Now listen to this. I have a double addiction, okay? Not that it's a double addiction, but like in my brain, it's like a double. You know, if I stopped smoking, I would be hypothetically letting go of my past. You know, but for some reason, I can't let go of my past. You know, for some odd reason, I still picture my ex, and I picture her, she's just out there smoking, having a good time. So I'm like, you know what, let me smoke and have a good time myself. That's not the best way to think, obviously, but it's actually good to, like, get it out, I guess. But I guess the whole point of this video, the whole point of what I'm trying to say since the very beginning is just why? You know, why is it so hard to stay sober? Why is it so hard to actually live a normal life? I'm not living normal life, but just be content. You know what I mean? Some people are. You know, I think maybe it's all about finding a reason bigger than yourself. You know, because I'm going to be honest. If I'm a father, my kid needs a father more than I need the za. That's just a proven fact. You know, if you have a job that needs you to, I don't know, get drug tested or whatever, maybe that's more important than doing that. Maybe if you meet somebody who wants you to stop, maybe that's more important. You need to find something better than alcohol. And Jesus Christ, that is probably going to be the hardest thing you will ever have to do, okay? Because here's the thing, everybody. Not only are we looking for substances all the time, but I do not believe that we are looking for happiness or meaning or purpose. I believe that we are simply looking for ourselves, and we can't find it. We can't find ourselves. It's hard. You know, it seems like at the end of the day, you just have yourself trapped inside your own brain, you know? I mean, being lonely is another big part of it. You know, because it seems like as soon as you down that that pint, your insides feel a little fuzzy. You know, you feel that feeling. You know, you're not alone anymore. You know, at least it doesn't feel like you are. Maybe that's exactly what it's all about in the first place. A relationship. Not even a relationship, but just finding another human being that actually understands you. One that brings that fuzzy feeling to your chest. You know, maybe the pursuit of happiness was just the pursuit of a relationship. Having somebody else seeing you inside this world. Because my definition of love is a little bit tangible here. In my head, to love is to be seen in a big, big world. To add meaning to the meaningless. But at this point, you're probably asking yourself, and you're probably even wondering, Matthew, nothing you said has helped. I'm still in the dumps. I still don't care if it's fake. I still want to just not be here anymore. I get it. Okay, I'm not going to pretend that I could say something or even do something that can make you stop. Or even make you rethink your decisions here. Because I can't. Okay, there's not anything I could say. There's nothing your sponsor could say. There's nothing your mom could say, your dad could say, your grandparents, your kids. There's nothing anybody could say. You want to know why? Because it needs to come from you. Okay, think about how hard it is for you to change yourself. Now, what on earth makes you think that you are going to be able to change someone else? Because even if they do change for you, they're changing for the wrong reasons. They need to change for their own reasons. The same way you need to change for your own reason. Like I said before, everybody. Want to know what I think the true meaning is? You need to find something more important. That's what it is. Whether that is a career, something you love, somebody you love. You need to love something. Okay? You need to find something you love and you need to let it kill you. Okay? Because life is too short to hate yourself your entire existence. It is too short. Even though life is the longest thing you'll ever experience, it's short. It is very short. Okay, very, very short. And don't think it isn't. Because one day you will blink and you will be 40. And you'll blink again, you'll be 50. And then you'll wonder to yourself, where did all the time go? Yeah, where did it go? I don't even know myself. Eventually it all just wraps up into one big bow. That's called your death. Because one day you won't be here anymore. And the only thing that will be left is what you left behind. Because it didn't matter about how much money you made. Or how many people liked you. What matters is how you made them feel. Because let me tell you something. The way you make someone feel, sometimes they never forget. If you can make someone feel good enough, that could actually probably save their lives. A regular, normal conversation, well, at least to you it may seem that way, might actually be the conversation that someone needs to get out of bed the next morning. Or to continue, to not take their own lives today. Because seriously, you're worth it. You really are. You just gotta make that choice. We all do. Even though it's a hard one. Very hard. Probably one of the hardest decisions you'll ever make, but listen to this. Nothing in this world, nothing in this universe can hurt you more than the thoughts you think. And there is nothing in this universe that can heal you more than the thoughts you think. So get out there and be that change. Because it's a lot easier. It's hard. It's hard to counter a counter argument. Okay, but you can't argue an embodied counter argument. Okay, you can't say you're going to not smoke ever again, or you're going to quit smoking, then you're going to be smoking a pack of cigs the next day. Okay? That changes it's just words that come out. It's just words. I cannot hear what you're saying because your actions are speaking so loudly. That's another quote for you. So realize that you were in the driver's seat. You are not in control. And life is not some game where you have to duck underneath, go over every hurdle. You can make this life whatever you want to make it. You just have to make that choice. So make that choice. And most importantly, get out there and stay positive. Because that might be one of the hardest things you'll ever have to do. Thank you for watching the entire video. I know this video was a little bit different, fake feelings and talking about bad things, because not that I want to talk about bad things, but that's just what's on my mind. I'm currently in my own battle. of stopping. I'm trying to stop smoking marijuana, because you guys know I'm a marijuana patient. I'm trying to stop. I'm not trying to use the word quit, because if you use the word quit, it's a little bit disengaging. But I want to stop. And I'm actually saying this here, so like it's here. I don't want to continue to live the same way every single day. I want to be in control of my feelings. I want to actually be in control of my life. Because what I've noticed when it comes to all of that substances kind of stuff, everything kind of, all the days kind of just blend together. And everything kind of just feels like one. And then when you finally surface, you're like, damn, this isn't my life. Let's go right back to escaping. So realize that this is your life. And you call the shots and you make the opportunities. There is no such thing as perfect timing. You make the perfect time. There is no perfect time to stop doing your bad habits. You make that choice. Okay, if you do it now, you will always have time. So get out there and make that choice.